What's up everyone? Thank you so much for joining. Unless you're new to my channel, by the way, welcome. You probably know at this point that I sing. I sing and I play the piano to it. Music is one of my greatest passions and I just love doing it. Something else that I'm extremely passionate about is storytelling. Doesn't matter if a story is told through an artwork or through a song. And when it comes to music, a story is best told through a live performance. I've always enjoyed performing. I was that child that the entire school was annoyed by because I performed at every single assembly, high school play, and just any opportunity I could get. Now it's been over 2 years since I've graduated from high school, and last month I was lucky enough to perform for the very first time outside of that environment in public in the US as well, because I've never really gotten a chance to perform apart from the school stuff. I had 2 different performances and unintentionally each one of them taught me a different lesson. Now this video might be extremely boring to a certain audience. I don't blame you, just skip. But because of that, it might be even more interesting to a different certain crowd. Now already back in October, I was informed that I was probably gonna perform at a certain event. It was gonna be in December, it was gonna be a Christmas song. I love Christmas, so I was like, hell yes, let's do it. Let's pick a song, let's start practicing. And that's what happened. I picked out a song, I started practicing. That song was Santa Baby. It's always been a super fun Christmas song to me, and let's be honest, I kind of have the look of that Santa Baby character, if you know what I'm saying. So it was kind of the whole package. I actually uploaded an extended cover of me singing and playing Santa Baby on my Instagram account on Christmas. So in case you're interested, make sure to go and check that out. Now, unless you know what I'm talking about, you have to understand that when you practice for a performance, you practice. Every single word has an intentional pronunciation, an intentional interpretation, and everything is done on purpose. It has to be perfect. It has to be a performance. Now, during this year, I was lucky enough to experience for the very first time how popular holiday parties are here in the US. That's not really a thing in Europe, but I was invited and in attendance at ton. Both of my performances, the one that was planned and the one that was spontaneous, were at private, pretty high profile events. So I was really excited. This was going to be my time to shine. They are respected venues, and honestly, I would even be happy just playing at a public piano. I just love to perform and sit down and do what I enjoy the most. But whatever, here comes the week of my performance. My performance was going to be on Wednesday. I was invited to a Christmas party on Monday night as well, and I get a call in the afternoon of Monday, and on this call I'm being told that a specific individual has requested me to sing at that Christmas party. Now this was a Christmas party with 300 to 400 people, and since I was already practicing for Wednesday, which was like 48 hours away, and I don't really get scared of crowds, I was like, hell yes, let's do it. So I get there, it's a party, and I kind of figured out that my performance was going to be more background music because people were standing, people were talking. It was not a sit down, watch me and let me do my thing, which was actually nice to kind of, you know, test the waters. I do Santa Baby. It goes really well, even though the piano was smaller than an actual piano, so it didn't feel quite like I practiced at home, and I kind of had to run through it before I actually performed. But everything went great, and I actually ended up performing twice that night because the first performance, the person who requested me to perform, they weren't there yet. So I performed once and then again like an hour later, and I got such an adrenaline rush. It reminded me of why I enjoy doing it so much, especially when everything goes well. So looking back, that performance taught me one thing, and it is how great it can go, how spontaneous it can happen, and how you always have to be ready, which is something I already knew and which is something I am, or at least I try to be. Now my second performance, which was supposed to be my actual performance that I found out about already in October, did not go as planned. I arrived at the venue like 2 hours before. I had a specific vocal lesson cranked in there before even going there, just to get my chords in the right place and yada yada yada, everything. I take this very serious. There was a person who was supposed to bring the keyboard or the piano to the venue, but they were stuck in traffic. So they arrived when all the guests started to arrive, and this was a more sit down, listen and watch me do my thing situation. Unlike the first venue, which was more casual in the sense of performing. So I had no time for a sound check. I had no time to re-warm up my vocal cords after having dinner before the performance. I didn't even know what my perspective was gonna be from sitting at the piano because I had no chance to try it out. They were building the equipment while people were already sitting down. It was literally the worst case scenario. So while a couple of other people sang as well, in my head I was already like, wow, I'm not ready. I do not feel good about this. I do not feel confident, but you know I have to do it anyways. So my performance comes and I don't feel good. I do it, It goes okay, especially the people who, you know, they can't really pinpoint what might go wrong. They say it was great, but it could have gone a lot better. Because I didn't really feel confident in what I was doing, I couldn't let go, I couldn't let the passion come through. I couldn't put on a performance. Because you know, part of a performance is smiling, embracing the character that sings the song. Santa Baby is a very playful song. I looked like I was singing a sad song. Because I was so focused on not messing up, I couldn't do certain unique vocal parts that I've been practicing for weeks and weeks because my voice wasn't in the right place. It was a very frustrating situation. Literally in the middle of the song, my hands started to kind of get really warm and cold at the same time. I was in a really bad place. I almost didn't want to do it. And then when my performance was over, I was pretty crushed. I was pretty fragile. I was close to tears almost the entire rest of the event because I was so disappointed in myself. All I felt and thought was, I found out about this in October. I made it this whole big thing in my head. Up until 48 hours ago, that was going to be my first ever performance outside of high school, even in America, at a great venue with amazing people there. It checked all the boxes. It was a dream come true, and I felt like I screwed it up, even though it wasn't my first performance after all, and there were a lot more and arguably a lot more important people at the first performance that I gave. But you know, you don't feel that, you don't see that when you are disappointed in yourself, and I am extremely self-critical. So right after the performance, before I got myself to watch the video when I got home, I thought this was horrible. I thought this was it. This is the end. I can't do this. Because only a few things really get to me, and what I'm passionate about, that's one of those things. So I was crushed, and it took a couple of days for me to get over it. I also had people telling me, you know, you posted that short clip on your story, the vocals and the talent, they're there, but I didn't really like the performance. And honestly, I don't blame them. I appreciate the honesty. I know how much and what was wrong with that performance. And I spoke to a bunch of people about it, and the lesson I take from it, because it's so contrasting to the first performance that I spontaneously gave, is that you have both. You can't always be in the mood, and the most important thing and the most respectable thing is that you do it anyways. People come, people pay, people didn't pay in this situation, but they attend because they want to see a performance, and you have to give a performance no matter what. That's your job. That's basically what you're there for. And there's this really overdone quote that actually fits quite well, and it's, the show must go on. And I quite literally felt that for the first time, that I just have to do it. People won't know that I've been practicing this part differently for 5 weeks because this is going to be the first time they heard it. It's just going to upset me, and that's a battle that I have to fight with myself. It was a huge learning process, and you have performances that boost your ego, that boost your confidence, that stroke the good parts. I do not mean this in a sexual way. And then you have performances that really challenge you, and those are the ones that you learn from the most. So in retrospect, I'm extremely grateful, not happy, but grateful that these performances went so differently, because this way I know I do not have to be afraid of spontaneous things. Not that I was afraid before, but you know, this way there's no chance I'm ever going to be afraid of spontaneous things. And I have to insist on a sound check. I should consider leaving the room to warm up my vocal cords myself while somebody else is already singing. I have to set clear priorities when it comes to performing, and I didn't know what these priorities were going to be because I've never been in this situation before. I only ever performed at high school. I knew I was going to go on stage. I knew I was going to sing. The songs were easy. My voice was... let's not talk about that. And I was a child. I'm a young adult now. And just like with everything I do, I take it very serious, and I am a perfectionist, a very self-critical perfectionist. So when things don't work out the way they should, it takes me a moment to accept that because I get very angry with myself. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I started performing, which is the most exciting part. I mean, that's a huge milestone for me. It's definitely and hopefully not going to be the last time I talk about this. Don't ever forget, this channel is a lot about allowing me and whoever cares to watch me grow and become the best possible version of myself. And that really includes capturing milestones and reflections like this. Because God knows how many performances, also of what size I will have had in 5 years' time. I will look back at this, and I will look back at it, and I will learn from it and be reminded of what I went through. With that being said, if you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching. In case you're interested, definitely make sure to check out my extended cover of Santa Baby on my Instagram page. I'm sure you will enjoy it, and if not, well, still, thank you for making the effort and checking it out. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments on this video and on the cover as well. Until next time, see you soon and take care. Bye.